We have had the privilege to interview a lot of experienced professionals. Please enjoy some of the advice and interviews from these interview segments.
In 2011, when we did an assessment of the industry, we found that, yes, we have a very successful ICT industry, but it was dominated by multinationals, and the local companies were really not participating that actively or in a way that was meaningful. And so what we did was that we actually created what we called guidelines to increase the contribution of local companies, to level the playing field when it came to the participation of local companies. And so what we're trying to do is to increase from an economic perspective, it's not just about creating more Nigerian companies in the ICT sector, it's actually increasing the domestic value add of the ICT sector. So things like, right now we import most of our mobile phones, we import most of the inputs into the ICT sector are imported. And we're saying we have the capacity to manufacture these things locally. Even skills, the skills are imported or were imported. We have the capacity to train Nigerians to actually work in the ICT sector at both the lowest end of the sector and the highest end of the sector. So that's what the local content policy is all about. I had one edition of Tech Launchpad that was in collaboration with Financial Services and Oil and Gas. We're just about to launch the second edition, which is real estate, health, and the building industry. So the idea of Tech Launchpad is to create a pipeline of entrepreneurs. So they enter into this. It's almost like a software business competition. So you have an elevator pitch, you make it online, and we have a panel of judges. They look at it, and the most successful entrants will then have an opportunity to be incubated in the Ideas Lab. So we're creating that pipeline because, again, that was a weak point where people would come and say, well, yes, we have money, but there are no companies to invest in. And we said, okay, a weak point there. Let's create the pipeline of entrepreneurs. So through Tech Launchpad and many other competitions that are being run. So we're saying, again, it's that philosophy that we're trying to run. It's companies are not code. Because what we find is that young Nigerians are entering into software competitions or hackathons, and they win, 1 million naira, 2 million naira, and they, collect the prize money, spend it, and then they enter the next competition and they start developing software again. But we say, well, that's fine, because it really just enhances innovation and creativity and all of that. But we need to take some of these successful winners and say, you know what, this is really great code, really good piece of software. Let us help you to build a company around it. And I always say, when we talk about Twitter, Instagram, all these things, these are pieces of software. But somebody took that piece of software, that piece of technology, and created this huge company out of it. And that's what we're trying to encourage in our young software entrepreneurs. So that's what Tech Launchpad was, to create that pipeline. Because there's a high failure rate, and we always say this to our entrepreneurs, there's a high failure rate in this sector. I think it's 1 in 25 or even maybe 1 in 100 is going to be successful. So we need to create a pipeline of hundreds of these companies, hundreds of these entrepreneurs, and hope we'll find that one that's going to be the successful one, and that will be the Twitter or the Facebook of Nigeria.
Well, the first thing to do is have reliable places to hold the data. And as you mentioned, there are more data centers springing up in the country. Actually, also very reliable ones. We've got highly spec'd data centers now in Rack Center. You've got Main One, you've got MTN data centers here now. And at what is called Tier 3, a very high level of sophistication, they can provide plenty of reliability. Okay, so previously when the technology wasn't available here, people would want reliability. They'd go out of the country. We had the undersea cables and it worked. But now we have the reliability here. There's no longer an excuse to hold your data and you're hosting in other data centers outside of the country. Domicile it in Nigeria. You get better performance. You don't have to spend expensive, you don't have to take US dollars out of the country, paying other countries hard-earned foreign exchange, and you get better performance. Look at the population of Nigeria, okay? If you compare it to some of the populations across the world, Netherlands, for instance, how many people, the population of Netherlands? So at the same, probably slightly higher than Lagos State, okay? And you have businesses like that thriving over there. We need to patronize them. We need to raise capability and competencies. And I know I've watched some of your guests talk about that. I won't go there. But clearly we need to do that so that we give younger entrepreneurs the opportunity to establish platforms that will enable them to thrive. An important aspect is also shared services. If you don't have to have access to significant amounts of capital expenditure, but you have access to shared services to provide your ideas, provide the platforms you need to provide. It gives small, medium-sized businesses the opportunity to better run their businesses, to be more efficient, reduce their supply costs, get better operational efficiency, and get better customer experience in what they do, because they're leveraging higher quality shared infrastructure that they don't need capital expenditure they don't have to find it to build it themselves. And shared services are starting to emerge. I wouldn't quite say hugely proliferate yet in the country.
There are different channels you can use. You can use social media, you can use Google search, SEO, you can advertise. So there are different ways, mediums, basically. You pick what you want to go with. I typically speak to entrepreneurs who have something that they have to sell. And so the first thing is to start with, what are you selling? What is the best platform that you can start with? You don't have to be on all the platforms. That can wear you out. So start with the best platform where your customers are. And for most women entrepreneurs, or for most businesses, Instagram is the place to be right now. And so get on Instagram. And it's okay not to know what to do when you get there, but look for help. Take a course, ask your friend who is very good at it. You know, open your mind to learn, and then start posting strategically. Don't just post because you want to post. When you post, think about the psychology of what you just posted. Why am I posting this? What do I want to achieve? What can it do? You know, that process of being intentional about what you post, the effects you want it to have. You know, and other things I'm saying now, I haven't started talking about technology. I'm talking about psychology. You know, so it's just asking yourself those questions, and basically that's it. It's an ever. You always learn. You always have to keep learning. I am still learning. I don't claim to be the know-it-all. I learn every day. And because I learn every day, I open myself to new things.
Innovation is just doing things differently. And we need to get the difference between innovation and invention, because people tend to use them interchangeably. While invention may talk about coming with a notion that has never been seen anywhere, what innovation tries to do is about the way things are arranged. So innovation allows you use might be existing technologies, but you use them differently. You apply them in a different manner. You arrange things in a different manner. That's innovation. Good intentions plus a good game plan plus competence plus discipline gives you good results. So the good intentions or having innovation as an intention is not sufficient for getting business success. Secondly, competence doesn't guarantee it. There's a lot that matters in discipline. You need discipline to stay the course, because there's a whole lot of distractions. And I say this honestly, and I've said this all the time. People have told me, oh, Bill Gates was lucky. He came at that time. I do agree. Larry Ellison, I do agree. But you know the funny thing? Being a success is a code. A successful man will always be successful whenever he's born. because it's a game of identifying what opportunities are for that day. What I'm saying is that a human being doesn't have the capability to pursue too many options. So the options that were available to Bill Gates at that time could have been a whole lot, but he chose that one and he pursued it. Today, if he's born today, there will be opportunities. Somebody said in the United States in the 1890 something that they should close down the patent office. Everything that needs to be invented has been invented. We are still inventing things. So what I'm saying here is that it is important to stay the course and ensure that you focus very, very, don't go with the distractions. The distractions only kill you. When you get to that point, then I think you can become very successful. Of course, you need a whole lot of structures to protect you against your own self as well. There's quite a few things that we can talk about, but I think we can put it at that for now.
I'd like to end today's show with a quote by Steve Jobs, founder of Apple Inc. He says, "Sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations." We admit we may have made mistakes, but one promise I leave you with today is that we are committed to keep innovating and improving this show so it remains your #1 tech show on television. Remember, you can watch this and other editions of the show on the channel's TV YouTube page, and also follow us on social media as displayed on your screen. Thank you for being a part of the journey so far. I invite you to journey with us further into the future. My name is Chukwuemeka Agbata. Say bye for now.